to Python programming course again. Today we are going to learn new concept which is condition and branching. Right. What do we mean by condition? Even though I said new, actually it is not really new. In our daily life, we use our logic to make the decision based on the condition, right? Let's see. If you look at the first line, we always do this. If it's rainy, I'm going to skip the class. Right? So it depends on the condition, we make a decision. Right? Similarly, in the programming concept, we have to write the logic. Right? So when we write the logic, we have to think of our condition and our statement. So the first part, it is raining, is called condition. I'm going to skip the class is a statement. Right? So in the Python programming, the same way we are going to write a code based on the condition, we will do another statement, right? Maybe we will be doing only one action or two actions, three actions, depending on the conditions. Okay. So before we start writing the condition, let's look at some of the comparison operator. The only difference from our daily mathematics to the programming is for equal, we usually use double equal sign. Right, instead of only one. Okay. Then apart from that, the rest are all the same. And then for not equal, here we use exclamation equal. Right. Some other programming languages we might use the tile and equal. Right. So apart from that, the rest are all the same. Okay. Now let's look at this. If your score is more than 70, right, you pass the exam. So this is a statement we want to create. Okay, so our condition is our score must be greater than 70. Right? So we are going to write this statement. If mark is greater than 70, you are going to print your pass statement. Right? So here in the Python, you have to be careful of full colon. Right? After your if statement, you must put a full colon. Be careful of this. Okay. So next sentence, if you look at print keep learning, this code doesn't belong to the if condition. All right. So no matter whether this condition is met or not, you will still print keep learning. Okay. So here in this example, you have only one branch. Right. If mark is 70, you print your pass. You print that you pass statement. All right. If mark is less than 70, you don't know. You don't do anything. Okay. So this is called one branch if statement. Right. Now let's look at the two branch statements. See here, in this example, we are going to make two statements. One is if your score is more than 50, you pass the exam statement will be printed. Otherwise, you fail the exam statement will be printed. All right. So for this example, we can see that there are two conditions. Okay, and you are going to make two different statements. All right. So you can see that this is if mark is greater than 50, print you pass the exam, ask print you fail the exam. Always remember after your if and ask, you must put the full colon. Right? So is it only two branches? No, it could be more than two. Right? So here in this example, I'm going to give you three branches example. Now let's look at detail. If your score is more than 80, we will say that okay, you get A. Right? If your score is not 18, but you still get more than 50, we say, okay, you pass the exam. Otherwise, you will say that you failed the exam, right? So there are three conditions. So we are going to write three branches. So if us, only two branch, right? So for us to add the additional branch, we use the as if statement. As if statement, to shorten, we use ELIF in Python, right? ELIF works similar to if statement. But if condition is not true, only if condition is not true, the second statement mark greater than 50 will be performed. Right? Okay. So if you want to have more than 3 branches, 4 branches, 5 branches, doesn't matter. You can just use as if multiple times. Right? Now let's look at logical operation. Right? So just now we put the mark, our score to be like greater than 80, greater than 50. But in our logical way, we know that our score cannot be more than 100 or less than 0, right? So what we are going to do is, if our score is more than 100 or less than 0, user enter the wrong data. So we know that if mark is more than 100 or less than 0, this is a data entry mistake, right? Because our score cannot be more than 100 or cannot be a negative value. So in this case, we are going to say that if this score is more than 100 or the score is less than 0, right? Then we will print out data entry mistake. Here we will use a keyword called OR. Right? This is called logical operation. Either one condition, if either one condition is true, we will print out this data entry mistake. Otherwise, we have like check, second condition, if its score is more than 90, you get A. If score is more than 50, you pass the exam. Otherwise, you fail the exam. All right. So here I put the 4 branches. Okay. Next, I give you an example on the right hand side. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conditions. If it's a 5 condition, how are you going to modify your code? All right. I encourage you to go and change on this Python code. How do you add additional condition? Okay. Now let's look at the next logical operation, which is AND. Right. And opposite of OR is for AND condition, both conditions must be true. Right? Both conditions must be true. If your score is between 0 and 100, this data entry is correct, right? So condition is score must be more than 0 and at the same time it must be less than 100. Okay, so this condition must be true. Both conditions must be true. In this case, we use the AND logical operator, right? So in summary, what you have to remember is if we want both conditions to be true, we use a AND logical operator. If you want either condition to be true, we use a OR logical operator. So today we learned about the conditional statements and branches. Next, we are going to do some Python conditional exercise. All right. I have given the exercises in the GitHub repo. You can find the link of GitHub repo in the comment. All right. So please go and visit to the the GitHub Pro and do the exercise. Okay. That's all for today. Thank you very much.